welcome back to there's a Moomins movie coming out apparently. Does anyone care?
The fuck? Are you serious?
I'm completely serious. Today we're reading Dating Game. I'd been single for a while.
About these Moomins.
I'd been single for a while and I was sick and tired of it.
Do something about that.
Being 32 and single is no laughing matter.
Matt Dixon, the creepypasta.
I will fucking hit you.
I don't know, it's quite funny from where I'm sitting. The traumatic experiences
I'm
of
not
watching
32.
your friends get married, have children and attain the American dream are akin to the hopeless depression of the schizophrenic mental patient.
I'm sorry, what?
Go fuck yourself!
I remember why we stopped reading this last time.
Whoa!
You should oh my, I haven't had sex in 6 months.
I remember
You should put a barrel like gun in your mouth and blow your brains
God,
out.
I remember the last wedding I went to. God, it was so traumatic! God.
You should see the game this close to fucking hanging from a ceiling, bitch.
Do you remember when we did Clockwork and I said these stories are disrespectful to people with mental illnesses? Yeah, just to reinforce that. The traumatic experiences of watching your friends get married are akin to the hopeless depression of the schizophrenic mental patient. Do you know what's traumatic? Do you know what's traumatic?
Reading this?
Having the shit kicked out of you is traumatic. Losing someone you love is traumatic. Getting sexually assaulted is traumatic. Do you know what's not traumatic? Being in your 30s and single, you whiny bitch. I wanted a wife. I wanted kids.
Wow.
I wanted a steady job. I wanted ice cream. I was tired of working at Burger King.
I work at Burger King making flavor Whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Ding by the done, ding by the done, ding by the done, ding by the done.
And living alone
KFC!
in a studio apartment.
Oh, wow.
And I memorised 90% of porn stars on the internet by name. That's impossible, but also
Right. Alright, for A, that's, I said impossible, like, nice, like, congratulate, what, do you have more, like, I've also memorised the encyclopedia. Then do something about it!
I think as well, like this
Take a night class!
What's this guy whinging about? Obviously, he has no mental illness because he's like saying, "Oh, it's like being schizophrenic, but don't worry, I don't have it." And he's also saying, "I was so sick of living alone in my apartment. He can afford to live alone. He doesn't have to do a house share, and he's got a fucking job." Yeah. In this day and age, when there's about 2.5 million unemployed people and only about 500,000 jobs, here's a geezer with a fucking job and a flat. Who's like, oh, I want a better job and
Where do you live where you can like live on your own on like a Burger King salary? None of us can live on our fucking own. Do we know anyone, our friends, who can live a fucking alone? James and Ben are living together.
Yeah, no, it's preposterous. Like, I was bored of working at Burger King and living in my studio apartment. In order to afford a studio apartment and work at Burger King, he must have been like a fucking manager or something.
He is the Burger King. Any bitches from now on, it's the Burger King.
Fuck.
The bitches just want me for the crown.
Disgusted by the company of my left hand, I decided to go out of one of those
Never watches
dating
it.
events.
I picked out my best garb and walked to the door. Keep in mind, I worked at Burger King.
Yes, we know! You've mentioned it 3 times!
So the best clothes I could afford was these royal robes and crown.
I couldn't afford my platinum crown.
It was a mediocre dress shirt and tattered khaki pants I bought at a Walmart during a clearance event.
Motherfucker, how much I make more than you?
I walked into the event trying to display the shred of confidence I had left. I was instantly discouraged when I saw all the other competing males and their Armani suits.
Sorry, are we lions now?
Also, where did you go where people are wearing fucking Armani suits? Because you're shooting way too fucking high.
You go to a different speed dating event. If you saw one that's like, oh, I got the speed dating event at the Hilton, it probably isn't for you.
Just go on Match.com, they got speed dating events. Fucking whatever.
Go to chat roulette and look at all the guys jerking it.
High class whiskey in hand.
How can you tell it's a high class whiskey?
Yeah, you can't tell by look, unless you can smell it from over there.
It's not. You can tell because they weren't wrapped up in paper bags.
Or as we can give nothing but pure self-esteem and conceit.
They're all purple.
The ladies were dressed in fine dresses, some of them quite low cut, and smelled like a flower garden designed by Martha Stewart herself.
Right, how close are you getting to this woman so you can yeah, I think this is probably why you're not, you're single.
There were some serious lookers in there, and I swear my pants shrunk a couple of sizes at the sight of some of these dresses.
What did he do? Put his trousers in a 60-degree wash all of a sudden?
Right, so you
you
I
turned
think I can
up-
see why you're
Yeah.
you're single. It's because you've turned up to a fancy speed date thing, taken a look at some of the women, and immediately popped a fucking boner.
Yeah, it's the guy just rolls up in his fucking khaki pants and a t-shirt, fucking gets an erection
Insta-boner.
in public, and has such pitifully low self-esteem. He's constantly whinging about.
I
his
don't
life.
understand. Like, if you have such low self-esteem, then you probably wouldn't have gone there in the first place. It's a fucking catch-22.
I'm looking forward to how the actual speed dating conversation goes. You know, she's going to be like, the girl's like, oh, you know, it's been difficult for me to reconnect with...
Have you ever smelled your own fart and thought you liked it?
Yeah, just say it's going to be really, really difficult for me to connect with men because my last husband, he actually used to knock the shit out of me when I wouldn't cook his dinner on time. It was really, really horrible, traumatic experience. Oh, I tell you what, actually, love, you want to hear some traumatic experiences, right? I'm single. My friends are all getting married. I'm not letting that go, you fucking dick. The speed dating started. The first girl I sat down with was quite young, a 22-year-old mother of 3. She had made a lot of mistakes in her life and seemed far more than I could handle. Right off the bat, she told me how she was 4 days sober from methamphetamine and was looking to settle down with a nice man who didn't look like a walrus.
You're fucking out of luck there, mate.
Okay, so also, like, this room filled with people with minus
Yeah,
suits,
I was gonna
and then
say,
there's a fucking meth head.
Yeah, this woman in this beautiful dress, fucking bug-eyed that you're 4 days sober from meth. It hasn't fully cleared out of my fucking system yet.
I snuck in here. I'm going to pull out a knife. Give me some money.
Yeah,
That's
I spent the
additional.
next
Fucking
4 minutes making general small talk, quite literally fearing for my life.
Oh my god.
In this high-class room full of classy people. Once the buzzer sounded, I rocketed out of my chair with the speed of a gazelle. The young woman seemed offended, but honestly, what did she expect? Look who's talking!
I don't know. That's the best you could have imagined.
Yeah.
Like, I don't usually mock people for being able to get into a relationship, but this motherfucker.
The next woman was way too old for me. I had thought that these events were age-regulated and had different meetings for people in different stages of life. I'm no pervert, but the whole idea of taking her shirt off and seeing 2 runny eggs nailed to the wall did not appease me.
Like, see, if you were actually it contradicts oh, I'm so desperate, but I'm also incredibly picky. Any sport in the storm, mate.
My decision was finalised as soon as she brought up her grandkids. I can hardly handle one generation of young ones, much less 2. I actually asked her if she needed help getting out of her chair after the buzzer sounded. Again, another dark look. I was batting 0 for 2, but such pitches were ones that I would gladly let the catcher have. What? Fucking
Fuck you and your pros.
fucking baseball metaphor. The next woman seemed much more appealing. She was 26 and studying to be a nurse at a local hospital. She loved kids but had none of her own, which was a relief to me. She seemed well kept and stable, and wasn't a bad looker either. No lie, my eyes did wander a bit south a couple times during the meeting.
Well, no wonder you haven't fucking been with a woman. Eyes up here, dickhead.
She either didn't notice or didn't care, as she never pointed it out. I asked her if she'd like my number as the session ended, and she consented. Someone's saying yes to your number. Like, don't call it consent, alright? It sounds creepy when you say it like that.
She consented. That means I'm allowed to make a skin suit out of her. Fucking dodgy sounding motherfucker.
I flipped over my phone and entered her number as she read it out, smiling at her and thanking for her listening ear. No wonder I had been single for so long. I got up to the next table. While doing so, I closed my phone by accident and realised I never saved her number, so it was lost forever. For the love of ... 0 for 3. The next table was empty. What a joke. If I wanted to sit and stare at a wall, I would have stayed home. Nothing really to say here, moving on.
But why did you even fucking bother putting it there? And nothing of interest happened. Thank you for me wasting your time.
This is where the story begins to get dark.
Thank you once again, author, for letting me know how I'm supposed to feel, you fucking twat.
The woman
This
I
is the
met
part where you prepare to be spooked.
at the next table.
Spooksy.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie coming with trigger warnings. Jump scare in 3, 2, 1. Everybody okay? Good. Let's move on with the horror movie.
Everyone fine? You. Oh, good. Better take a 20-minute break for everyone.
The one I met at the table was the most interesting of all, but not in a bad way. She had long, flowing, dark hair and green eyes. She had this cute smile, and man, what a tight body on this one.
Oh my
Black
God.
dress, black shoes, black everything. For someone dressed as such a gothic man, I don't think just black
Yeah,
necessarily is gothic.
So
She
like,
had
you don't
such
go
a-
walk past a funeral, fucking goths.
She had such a bubbly personality. Everything I said made her giggle, and I felt like a king just talking to this girl.
A king of burgers?
Oh!
I felt like a king just talking to this girl, right? She was 27 and currently unemployed. Yeah, brilliant, what a catch. She was married to a husband before, as opposed to a chair. She was married to a horse before, but he left her after their 2 children died of leukemia. Right, okay, let's imagine the narrator is a real person for a moment, right? You have met somebody whose 2 children died of leukemia, and you still have the audacity to describe, like, when you go back to write the story, your experience of being single as traumatic. Fuck you!
Also, like, in a 5-minute dating session, do you think you would bring up, like, my 2 children died of leukemia?
Probably not.
Fucking no, mate.
I mean, when Jacob goes out on the, dating, he never brings up the fact that he's got that tiny midget growing in his back.
Oh God, there he is!
She told me that the cancer was entwined with her lineage, dating back as far as the 18th century. Therefore, in numerous fits of emotional rage, her ex-husband blamed her for giving the children cancer and left. Too pained by the loss of her entire family, she moved to the city a few weeks ago and was living on unemployment, unable to continue working her job due to crippling depression and panic she suffered as a result of her abandonment. Yeah, that's trauma, mate!
4-minute session. Where's all the
Fucking
talking, by the way?
Dick.
He's not a good enough writer to write a conversation between people.
Yeah.
Well, because that would involve, like a conversation between human beings, and clearly this isn't one.
Despite the torment in her life, she never seemed depressed about it. Unlike me,
Apart from
who
the
was-
depression she just had.
Yeah.
Unlike me, who apparently was depressed about literally nothing. Either she was incredibly optimistic about life, or she was one of the best actors I had ever seen. Either way, I was willing to take a shot.
Or she's on meth.
I asked her if she'd like my number. It turned out she had some bad meetings at this particular convention herself and wanted to take off to do something more fun. We decided to go to a pool hall. Apparently she used to be a regular at another pool hall by her old house, winning local tournaments and making a name for herself, and she wanted to check out the scenery here. I wasn't too shabby at the table game myself, so I was excited. Every shot she made was perfect. The balls just sank into the pockets. Like each pocket was a black hole just waiting for someone to trespass into its field.
What?
Out of the 17 games we played, I think I made around 23 shots. She just kept running the table. It was funny because she kept apologising for being so good.
Ha ha ha.
I waved the apology and complimented her on her skill, causing her
Milady?
to giggle more. Every time she laughed, I'm now picturing this guy in a fedora, and then he said Milady. The Burger King, but with a fedora.
It's edgy.
Harder and harder. And to be honest, I was always excited when the cue ball landed on my side of the table. You know, because she bent over to take her shots.
Oh, you disgusting pervert!
'Cause she-
That's disgusting!
Like, do you think he's gone out of his... The guy who wrote this gone out of his way to I don't want anyone to like this guy.
So basically, what you're doing is perving over this woman because she's bending over a table. How about go fuck yourself and go home, you disgusting old man?
And it was like, as many pros do, heh. He actually wrote heh. This ain't Facebook, it's a fucking story.
Like, you can write in a way of saying like, oh, I appreciated when she bent over the table, so like, but not the way you wrote it. It's like,
Yes, I liked it because she was running over the table.
is there actually any helium in it, or are you just like huffing?
No, there is helium in it.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah, it
Oh.
sounds quite funny. Oh, hang on a second.
Jesus Christ!
We left after that. Stop putting the fucking helium. She said that she had to go home and she had some errands to run.
Toby's just huffing helium in the living room.
Being new to the neighbourhood, no. I agree, she had a Facebook application to update.
He sounds like a weedy old man who lives next door.
Because you like a fucking
Obviously, I didn't give her that reason. Jesus, what the hell was wrong with me?
Right, fuck it, I'm getting the other blue. I'm doing this whole paragraph on helium.
Passing up an amazing girl for Facebook. So we exchanged numbers and parted ways. I couldn't believe it. I actually scored a beautiful woman. Hell yeah.
Did you say you scored?
Weeks and months passed on. We continued to talk and eventually began regularly dating. The relationship moved pretty quickly and it seemed we
That
were
was fucking
truly
quick, wasn't it?
matched for each other. After about 7 months of dating, I asked her to marry
Are
me.
you for real? I didn't. Alright, fair enough, 7 months of dating, but I waited at least a year to propose to my fiance.
I popped the question on the 17th, and that's how many games we played on our first date. She found that so romantic and flew into my arms screaming yes to the skies. Things were finally looking up. I moved out of my shitbox apartment.
Hooray! Good for you. you
Some
fucking
on-screen a
I love
mansion.
it, she's like, I moved out of my shitbox apartment into her home. Yes, her lovely home that she affords on her fucking unemployment allowance. I always admired the cozy feel of her 2-bedroom ranch house. Something perfect to start a family in. As I was moving my final things in, I noticed how much of a mess I was making with my boxes and stuff and all. I apologised and motioned to the basement to finish moving my things. Her face instantly darted to mine. In a hurried and almost frantic voice, she assured me she'd take care of the rest of my things and that I should relax.
So basically, there's everything in the basement, all the bodies.
It's gonna be like a dead kids in the basement or something tasteless
I
like that.
fucking hope not.
Yeah.
It was a bit odd, sure, but she'd been through so much excruciating sadness throughout her life. That
Just like
having
me.
A psychiatric illness is something I expected. I complied to her request. The next few months were great. We never got tired of each other.
And I never went in the basement, so that was good.
On our wedding day, the kiss we shared on that altar was so special. I firmly believe angels surrounded us and serenaded us with harps and trumpets. Well, you're a fucking idiot then, aren't you? As our lips connected and sparked so brightly that the entire room was
These
illuminated.
pros are painful.
So the entire room was Illuminati.
I'll leave out the details of the honeymoon as this is not a pornographic piece.
Wow, what a surprise! I mean,
Oh, I wonder what they did. They played so much pool.
It's not a pornographic piece, but I tell you, just between me and you, we got it on! Woo!
She let me touch her boobie once.
She was always leery of me approaching the unforbidding basement.
sorry, hang on a second. What if she was out?
Also,
Why didn't you
leery,
just lock
Was
it?
she always in,
Also-
guarding the basement?
leery of me, complete wrong use of the word, sometimes to the point of arguing with me about it. But aside from that, I didn't see any fault in her. Until everything I knew about life was shattered.
That's when the Fire
What
Nation
is
attacks.
life? One day she told me she was going to the grocery store. I noted that I wanted some ground beef in order to make hamburgers for dinner. You hated making burgers so much from the Burger King, you decided to make burgers at home.
That didn't even fucking occur to me. But you're so right.
What were they again, Toby? Burgers?
Shut up. She smiled. Shut up! She smiled at me with that cute, adorable smile I've grown to know and love, and headed out. After climbing Burger King's corporate ladder, I finally attained a position of regional financial manager for the entire state. After each report was fully completed and evaluated, I moved the files to a USB device so I could upload them, riveting, this is dark, to a computer for a corporate meeting to the next day. To my horror, with only 3 reports left to finish, the computer crashed. If I didn't finish these reports, I would surely lose my job. Fucking so glad this is creepypasta.
Yeah.
It's scary, this, isn't it?
Yeah, do you guys
The
remember?
scariest part.
Sometime
losing your
earlier,
job.
he was like, this is where the story gets dark.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm just shitting myself over the idea of computer crashes. I mean, if his computer crashes, my computer could crash, and then who would be Skellington?
Sorry, I've just realised. He says I called my wife, right? What is her name? And what is his name?
Waifu, Burger King.
Never addressed. What the fuck are their names?
Waifu and Burger King.
So, Dave and other Dave, yeah?
Lady
What-
Dave.
Chaz and Dave.
Alright, how many people can get that?
Not fucking many, I'll tell you that now. I called my wife asking her if she had another computer or something I could use, but she didn't answer. I rummaged through the house to find something to finish these reports with to no avail. Desperate times called for desperate measures, so I took a daring risk of approaching the basement. Fucking hell, you hero.
Okay.
Here we go, back with the door porn. The handle was unusually cold and not horny tonight. I had to get her in the mood. Handle was usually cold and the door was locked. Frustrated and defeated, I slumped on the couch with depression. That is until I realised there was a specific flower pot that my wife always guarded with her life. Was she going to threaten to kill herself if you went fucking... On a hunch, I went to it and found the key to the bottom of the pot under the dirt. As soon as I opened the door,
Yeah,
Shut
up.
a rancid and tangible odour attacked me like a falling wall from a decrepit building. The entire basement looked as if it was wasting away, a clear contrast to the rest of the house. The heavy layers of dust upon every surface suggested that the basement hadn't been accessed in years. Using my cell phone as a flashlight, I guided myself down the stairs and flicked a light switch. Surprisingly, the bulb still worked. Can I just do the next bit in
Yeah.
The walls looked molded, the wood breaking down with the stench of putrid. The entire place was in disarray.
Yeah, I'm going to stop doing that now.
I encountered a strong sense of dysphoria after setting foot in the room, so I quickly searched for some old computer with the intent of running upstairs as quickly as possible. To my luck and astonishment, there was an old laptop and charger in the corner, hidden under some boxes and books. Oddly enough, one of the boxes was one in which she brought down after I'd first moved in. What? Was one in which... What? Alright, anyway, I had not seen some of this stuff in a long time. Ignoring the nostalgia, I seized the computer and charger and raced up to the master bedroom.
I'll just say, if it stunk so bad down there, then surely it would smell it throughout the entire house.
Yeah, also, like...
A door doesn't stop smell. I'm sorry.
It's airtight. We were on a submarine. It was an airtight door.
After giving the laptop a few minutes of power, I booted it up. It ran on Windows XP and was quite the technological dinosaur compared to modern equipment.
I don't know, Windows XP. Some military devices still run on a Windows XP, so fuck you.
But it had Microsoft Office, so it was acceptable. As soon as Windows finished booting up, a system message appeared on the screen notifying me that the new sources had been added to the tagged video cache.
Riveting, this, isn't it?
And if I'd like to check it, I had never seen a system message like this before. I know that snooping is generally taboo.
Snooping as usual,
I know snooping wasn't good. I know dogging wasn't good. Combine them together, what do you get? Snoop dogging.
Curiosity overcame me. I was taken to a hidden file that required a password to access it. Rolling my eyes, I moved my cursor to X out of the program when suddenly something typed the password in for me.
Doesn't happen.
Should have never left, keep logged in as an option.
A bit frightened at this point, I was sucked into the screen.
What sucked anyway, mate?
Oh my god, it's going to turn out to be a reboot.
It's a freakazoid.
Yeah. Your one's better than reboot.
And just like, he's just shot through the computer and he was turned into the freakazoid.
Yeah.
He's strong and super quick. And he drives the villains crazy because he's a lunatic who writes shit like this. There were 4 videos entitled him.avi.
Oh god, not him! Oh god! Oh!
Oh shit, I'd forgotten about that.
Oh!
That really sucky fucking goth band.
Yeah.
.avi, 2.avi, and y.avi. All 4 thumbnails are pure black. Curious, I clicked on the file entitled him.avi. I should have never done that.
Killing Loneliness came on. Oh god!
Let's say, right, you go, your wife is, whose marriage ended when her 2 kids died, doesn't want you to go into the basement. So you go down to the basement, rummage around, and then you find an old laptop. And then you find some videos on the laptop. Do you think there's a reason why... I know it's going to sound like, she's actually a murderer or a werewolf or the Bigfoot or some such shit. But it's like, this might have some hurtful memories on it. Let's not bring this up.
Yeah.
See, this is why it wasn't written by a human being.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
The video was extremely shaky and grainy. I could barely make out the
Cloverfield
figure of a man tied to a chair with some sort of a metallic rope. A woman moving as if she was floating on air, not moving a single bone in her body, but yet being able to slowly hover around the room, came into the picture. To my horror, she brought out a knife and started slowly cutting the man. The man screamed in brutal pain as the woman slowly cut him to pieces. Blood poured from his mouth and all his lacerations as the woman dug the knife in deeper. His clothing was slowly stripped from his body, and after each article was removed, she used a lighter to set all of his newly exposed hairs on fire.
Lovely.
Covered in horrific burns and terrifying cuts, the man had stopped screaming and was now simply bawling. He occasionally screamed out "wife," but that was all he could muster.
Way!
Each time he did, the woman stabbed him again. She began laughing as the man began vomiting blood and entrail. Jesus.
What the fuck is
How's that even
How the hell do you
possible?
vomit entrails from a stab wound?
She picked up the small, solid pieces of the vomit with the knife and slowly licked the knife clean,
Man, she's into some kinky shit!
giggling like a schoolgirl. She then proceeded to gouge the fucking cow. Shaken and horrified.
No, shaken instead.
Shaken and
Shake and
horrified.
bake.
The shakenator.
Shaken and horrified.
Shaken Stevens.
Shake, rat, and roll. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty.
I clicked 1.avi.
Boom! Shake,
I
shake,
had-
shake the room!
You know what
What
was
can we
going
do?
on. This time, it was a young boy about 8 years old bound to a chair.
We know where
there
this
we
is
go.
going.
This is gonna get cut. Alright, let's go. Confused in a search of my head and tears. Such thing for this boy. Video was same quality as last one. However, the background was much brighter.
No one can hear what you're saying, Toby. Falling apart in ruin. The woman floated over to the boy, much like she did in the last video, and kissed him gently on the cheek. She slowly brought heat lamps, the source of the brightness mentioned before, over to the boy one by one until the entire video was white. After a while, the camera was dim so the boy could be seen again. The innocent look once seen at the beginning of the video turned into one of excruciating pain. I'm not reading the rest of that.
Hang on, blah 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 blah. Why? Blah 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 blah
See,
blah blah.
Toby, why do you have to do that every time I say I'm not reading the rest of it? The people can fucking read, alright?
Right, so she went over to him and then she gave him some cake and puppies. Then moving on.
She then took a knife and carved "I deserved this" into the child's melting torso, and again, I needed to see the next one.
Why? Surely you would wait
Call
for your...
the police.
Yeah, surely you would wait for your
Hey,
wife to come home with a
I
baseball bat.
found my wife's laptop in there, and she apparently turns into some sort of ghost thing and murders people.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you know, in the creepypasta universe, if you call the police, they'll instantly be there. So why not call the police?
Yeah, crime stops the moment the police are called.
Yeah. Oh, but
I had to witness this.
Wait a second, mate.
This had to be stopped. With such a determination, I clicked on 2.avi. This time there was no one strapped to the chair. Instead, an infant car seat was in the chair with what seemed to be a newborn infant. Fuck you! Fuck off.
Fast forward, progress, child grew more.
I'm not fucking reading anymore.
Shaking, I forced myself to click on the Y AVI before the. Toby, you read.
oh yeah, because you know everyone else can't read. Before the video play, I
Which
noticed
one went to a
the file
dyslexic school?
was modified within the last hour. Almost blinded by fear, Jacob walked out of the room and then became skeleton and wrote this.
Should we pause it and wait for him to come back?
Nah, he's gone for a while. I think he tried to close the door, but he can't because the carpet's up too high, so
Yeah.
he can't actually close the door. It's quite funny. Almost blinded by fear, swallowed my apprehension over this time. This time there was just a woman. No other person was present. She faced away from the camera, speaking in a demonic tone. Here we fucking go.
Use the helium.
I can't record exactly, but here's a paraphrased transcript of what she said. I ain't gonna be able to do the whole thing.
Hello. Clearly by now you know I'm not the person you thought I was. Sick and twisted woman. I love this. It makes me happy to see someone die, especially at my hand.
What are you, Dexter?
No, Dexter kills all the serial killers.
I know you're watching this and I know you're terrified. The ghosts of those that have killed swarming around you right now, telling you to pull away from the screen to save yourself.
Slow down a bit.
Yeah, we'll slow down now.
Now you sit there and watch, waiting for some happy ending or reasonable explanation to the events you have just witnessed. There are no special effects here. What you saw was real. I love this footage. There's much of the president himself that I had to hide it.
You couldn't know your lonely piece of shit brain would tell you to turn me in. You were so desperate for love. You fell in love with
Lover.
a serial killer. Oh. Woman turned around and instantly I recognised the face of my wife. I couldn't feel emotion at this point. I didn't know what to think. My memory had fallen to pieces. I didn't know where I was, or who I had been, or what I was about to go through. Everything in my life had died, and
Or
I
Sue was
saw
skeleton.
once happy and bubbly eyes. I once saw my wife become vapid and emotionless. A smile crept across her face. Jeff the Killer, EXE, might be. This one could be. He's not happy. He's just got that face. It's like,
It's Gender Bent the killer.
makes you quiver in a malaise. I don't know what the fucking word is. Upon the slightest thought of it, this wasn't possession, this wasn't man, this was just ... evil.
Evil!
The video,
I didn't know you were going to do that.
that was fucking weird. It's quite a shame, really. I really loved you. We had this passion. Remember the giggle? I made you fall in love with me. I tricked you. I lied to you. And you want to know the best part? I knew you would find out. I couldn't keep the secret forever. Ignore the kettle boiling in the background. That might be the scariest part of this thing.
Kettle!
Eventually, you might find the key to the basement. Eventually, the stench will become too strong. Eventually, the decaying foundation
stench,
will
what,
become
like
to
the
topple the
dust?
house. Eventually, you would finally realize that children never had leukemia. My father never left. I killed them. You're a fucking piece of shit. And
How would you, like... You'll find out the children never had leukemia. How?
I don't know. Call the fucking hospital.
What would excuse me, hospital. I just want to say, did my wife's kids have leukemia? What do you mean, no?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Who the fuck am I? And how did I get this number for the hospital? How do I get to it? How do I get through to a doctor so quickly? Oh no, it's amazing too.
He's on the line with 999. You're like, well, sir, can you please tell me? They just have an imaginary
and
conversation.
closer to you than you think. Why do you think the basement smells so bad? Whatever.
You stepped.
I know you're watching
I was fucking right.
He was fucking right. I know you're watching this. I just made this video. I know what you've done. I began shaking my head, fearing what I knew I was about to hear.
You stepped on my dead children and husband.
I didn't actually read that part for a reason, because it's just disgusting. I began shaking my head, fearing what I was about to hear. A cold sweat freaked upon me as I suddenly... 2 eyes bore into the back of my head. I was paralysed.
Bore is alright.
Yeah. Those noises you're hearing aren't the pipes. Turn around.
Bright eyes?
No, it's the kettle. I just established it. Every now and then I fall apart. I slowly turned around and froze as I met the psychotic eyes of my wife. She began to giggle. Don't know what happened after that. I've been told by the police that people heard screams coming from my house and attempted murder and had called the police.
Didn't you say you lived in a ranch house? Was that established earlier, didn't you say?
Yeah, that was,
yeah.
So, pretty fucking loud screams.
Yep. I was told by physicians that I was violated with a sharp end of a screwdriver she placed in a block of hot ice on my lap. Whatever that means, I'm not going to imagine, you know. I was tied to a chair, the same one that...
so she put a block of ice on his dick or something?
And I was videotaped. All the videos are now in police covers to me.
This, right?
Yep. And I refuse to see one.
He still starts his story with being single is traumatic.
Yep.
Not this is trauma.
My wife was given the death penalty. I was present at the execution. Her last words were to tell me she would never leave me and she would always know where I was. That she would never give up on my murder. Whatever that means. And she never left a job unfinished. So that's why the DIY hasn't been done for the last 6 months. I mean, for fuck's sake, put up the wallpaper, love. He's told me you were going to do it.
Oh, clearly she does leave a job undone. If she's cleaning the fucking house, the basement hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Fucking dusty. You left these corpses on the fucking ground, lazy cow.
She was sure to tell me that I would see her again, and she'd send another minion to finish the job.
Yeah,
what is?
Put a picture of a minion on the screen.
What? Is she fucking Gru? What the fuck is this? How does she have minions all of a sudden? How did she keep all this secret How did she keep all that secret? I have an underground lab of minions.
Okay, going back to so you've got married to a husband, and you've had 2 children.
Yep.
And then they go, and then suddenly, they don't appear for a while.
Yep.
And then you get remarried.
The end.
So no one's looking over the paperwork and goes yeah. So this Dave Husbandson, which is the guy, which is going to be the name of our first husband. Yep. So yeah, he hasn't paid any taxes or had anything, done anything for a while, and children haven't been turning up to school. Do you think we should do something about that?
Nah, I think they're dead, Jim. She finished by telling me I would never be safe, ever. She survived the first 3 attempts at lethal injection.
Oh,
what is she, fucking Rasputin?
The fuck, man? But died on the 4th. Okay. She was smiling and she giggled like a little schoolgirl right before she died.
I know.
Right near the end.
That's supposed to be an alleged, if you survive the first attempt, you're allowed to go free, which is clearly bullshit. But after we've injected her twice with she's received twice the dose of a lethal injection. Should we investigate this and somehow
Nah, we'll just do it another 2 times, mate.
Like, oh, you've been filling up with water, oh silly Jamie, in his first day of the execution. You've been putting syrup in it.
Oh god damn it, not again!
Having it in syrup injected straight into your bloodstream might actually. This death is delicious. Liquid marshmallows directly to the heart.
No! Don't you know what happens when you do that? That's how the Marshmallow Man was born! I have been through extensive therapy, and years later I have been able to overcome the horrific trauma of being single and 32. No!
Jacob's like sitting across the room, lying down the way you like got up when you first said that. That's not what they really said.
No! Horrific
Fucking wish it
trauma
was.
I saw and experienced. I still make 6 figures a year. Why do we care about your Burger King living motherfucker? I have made a good network of friends, and my life has been incredible. I feel accomplished and successful, something I never felt before. I am now confident, so confident in fact, I'm going to go on a date tonight with a girl. She's too cute there with this long, dark, flowing hair with 5 green eyes. Fuck you. That's the end of the story.
Right, so
I'm afraid to ask Jacob what he thinks about this.
1 out of 10. I like you. 2 out of 10.
Let me come.
0 out of 10.
No, I don't want you to come. Everyone's saying 3 out of 10, so you know you're not the only one who thinks it's shit.
Okay, if I may speak directly to everyone at the moment.
Let's sit down and rap.
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise because it was actually this was requested for me ages ago, and I read the first couple of paragraphs and laughed my head off and thought this would be great to do on the show. We were making some great jokes at the beginning. I thought we were having a really good time with it. I was quite insistent that we record this today, not having read ahead, not knowing how bad it gets. I am not only sorry that we fucking read that, I'm ashamed to be a member of the same species as the person who wrote this.
Didn't you know he's an alien?
Yeah.
Because my parents are aliens. No.
Right. So,
Shall I read some fucking reviews then?
most of the people seem not to like it.
I started.
Oh wait, that's good. Could be better. 8 point. I liked it. 9 out of 10.
Fuck off.
Nice pasta, but I have a feeling the ending was sort of rushed. 6 out of 10.
No, I'm glad it fucking ended. Like,
I think we don't really need other people's comments. Right, Toby, what do you think first?
You want to know what I think about this piece of shit story, right? Okay. So, it's so traumatic being 32 and single. I'm not sure you understand how traumatic it is, right? So, what's more traumatic is me being binded to a chair and having horrible things done to me to the point where I don't even know what happened to me. I must have been blindfolded or some shit that's never established, so he could have just seen the whole thing or whatever. And then, it's just... I'm sorry, mate, but this is fucking poor. I never thought I would say a story is worse than Clockwork, but what did we say today?
Yeah, we were walking along.
Worse than Clockwork.
Yeah, we were walking
what
along.
What have we just found?
Yeah, we were just walking along early today, going down the shops, and because unless we find something fucking traumatic before like December, I was like, Clockwork's going to be the number one worst.
What happened was Matt brought up that we're doing the 10 worst of 2015 as like a
and I couldn't decide
video.
whether Instant Death Disease would be on it or not because it's so funny.
And I said, well, let's be honest, Clockwork's number 1 unless we find something really horrendous before December, which is going to be a tall order. I mean, the very same fucking day we have that discussion, we happen upon
You
this.
fucking jinxed it.
I must have.
This story was good around the beginning and middle, but at the end it started to fall. But I like how believable this story is. I'll give it an 8.37 out of 10. If someone
can kill, like a woman can kill her husband and children, and no one will investigate.
Sorry, as horrible as this story is, because you know he works at Burger King, that's horrible, right? No, the thing that's probably the most unbelievable is the fact that after however long of marriage, he's been banned from the basement. Eat a dick, just fucking push her out the way. If that's fucking bad.
That's what Toby does to his.
No, I don't push her out of the way, but still, she's pregnant. But fucking hell!
That's the only reason he doesn't.
There is a basement, right? And there has been so many times when she's gone out to the pub or whatever, fucking murdering God knows how many people. You would surely go in a fucking basement!
Alright.
Why do you think the phrase, curiosity kills the cat, exists? Because it fucking did. My cats are dead.
Zombie cats. No,
not really. I love my cats.
Like, the fact that it's basically... the main the guy is unlikable, annoying and dumb, and then he gets into a marriage which is boring, and then suddenly she's a serial killer who somehow managed to kill her husband and children, and no one's taken notice, and then at the end she's magic.
Essentially,
she was floating when she was killing them, and then she's like, "I'm going to send a minion to kill you," and it's like, well, what the I don't know. You you weren't really on the rails to begin with, but you sort of went even far off the rails. You went into the fucking ocean. So what I have to say is, go climb the Dick Mountain, climb to the very top of Dick Everest, and then look down at all those dicks, the entire massive mountain made out of all those dicks, and then just fucking chow down.
No, what you should do is
get big old sporks and just go nom nom all this dick all up and eat that mountain of dicks.
But before you do that, you should plant another dick. You should plant another dick on top, just the dick
Flag.
and then just eat the dick flag and eat the rest of the dicks. You fucking cunts.
Next time we find something worse, I'm gonna outdo the Dick Mountain.
How can you outdo Dick Everest?
Okay, so I'm going to speak directly into the microphone. Alright, so you've got a story, essentially. It starts with a man who is whiny and petulant, which makes even less sense by the end of the story when you realise that he's married.
It's like memoirs. And
You realise that he's married Satan.
He clearly married Jeff the Killer in drag.
I can't believe... I mean, I fucking left early, but I can't believe what we've just sat and read. Like, that is horrifying. That's...
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's offensive, it's dumb, it's stupid. It's everything that a bad creepypasta really ought to be, I suppose. And yeah,
Turns up to 11.
Yeah, I feel empty inside now that we've finished reading that. Because of all the, I don't know, fucking child murder and torture.
We didn't read it properly, but did she apparently melted her child with some halogen lamps or something?
What?
Because children are made out of wax.
It's so stupid.
Candle child.
So fucking stupid. Candlejack?